The HOA meeting is held every second Thursday in the clubhouse, a pale, colonial-style building with white columns and a polished brass plaque that screams old money. I walk in wearing slacks and a button-down, but still feel eyes pierce me like I track mud on their marble floors. Debbie stands near the front, surrounded by a semicircle of board members, mostly older, mostly white. I count 4 nods, 2 stares, and 1 sneer when I sit down. Debbie raps her gavel like she's leading a trial. We'll begin with unresolved compliance matters. Mr. Rhodes, I believe you're here regarding the vegetation concern. I stand. Calm. Steady. I bring up the inconsistencies. Trees bigger than mine untouched, neighbors unbothered. I ask for documentation, clarification, a fair review. Debbie smiles like she's posing for a portrait. The board has already reviewed your case. Safety and visual harmony are top priorities. It's not about you, Mr. Rhodes. Not about me, but it's only me. I glance around. Some neighbors avoid my eyes. A few shift in their seats. One man, gray beard, blue golf shirt, nods almost imperceptibly but says nothing. I press. Then why did this notice come with no inspection? No certified letter? Just a staked threat on my lawn. A heavy-set board member leans into his mic. We don't owe you individual explanations. You live here. You agreed to our standards. Their eyes say what their mouths don't. You should be grateful we even let you live here. I sit, pulse simmering behind my collar. After the meeting, the golf shirt guy catches me outside. I'm Ed, he says quickly, retired fire chief. Listen, you're not wrong. But Debbie, she runs this board. She doesn't like being questioned, especially not by... He trails off, but I hear the unspoken word. Us. She's been on a tear lately, he adds. Ever since she moved in, honestly. Always talking about property values, appearances, keeping the neighborhood refined. She called my granddaughter's quinceanera a public disturbance. Said the mariachi music was aggressive. Aggressive. I thank Ed and shake his hand. Not an ally, not yet, but maybe a witness. By Saturday, they've escalated. A second notice. $250 fine. A threat to place a lien on my property. And then they go after the tree at night. A neighbor texts me at 11:42 p.m. Hey, I think someone's messing with your tree. I run outside in house shoes. Sure enough, a man in reflective gear is standing by the base with measuring tape. Not city issued. No logo. No ID. When I confront him, he claims he's with the HOA landscaping team and speeds off in a plain white van. The next morning, the lower branches are cut. Rough. Jagged. Like they were hacked in a hurry. My daughter cries when she sees the mess. That's when I snap. I pull out the utility schematics I still have access to. The irrigation main for the HOA's common areas, including the clubhouse, fountain, and Debbie's prize rose medians, runs under my property. Installed decades ago. Forgotten by everyone but me. Legally, I own the land. The pipe is on my deed. And there's no easement agreement on file. They mess with my roots. They forgot who they're dealing with. And now, I'm done playing nice. Monday morning, Debbie struts onto my lawn like she owns the deed. She's in a wide-brimmed sun hat, heels sinking slightly into my grass. HOA clipboard clutched her chest like a royal decree. Behind her are 2 other board members, Harold and Marcy, and a man in khakis with chainsaw slung over his shoulder. You had your chance, Mr. Rhodes, Debbie says, her voice honeyed with spite. We've issued multiple warnings. Your failure to comply leaves us no choice. The chainsaw growls to life with a pull. I step between them and the tree. You do this, I say calmly, and I promise you'll regret it. She laughs. Not a real laugh, a practice one, for an audience. Oh, please, we're within our rights. This tree is a hazard, and your attitude is frankly hostile. It's obvious you don't understand how order works in a community. I understand it just fine. I reply, eyes steady. What I don't understand is how your landscaper trespassed onto my property without notice or permit last week. Marcy stiffens, but Debbie waves it off. Proactive safety inspection. Nothing illegal. I have him on camera. I say, No uniform. No ID. Cutting limbs after midnight. That's vandalism. And trespassing. Both criminal offenses. Her lips purse, but she pushes forward. You're making this difficult for yourself. This could have been easy. You're bringing hostility into a peaceful neighborhood. There it is. Hostility. She says it like it's a warning. A dog whistle dressed in HOA legalese. You mean I'm not being quiet enough? I say, my voice low, not letting you run unchecked. Don't be dramatic, she says, turning to the chainsaw man. Go ahead. He starts forward. I smile. Cut 1 more inch off that tree, I say clearly, and the HOA won't have a drop of water for a month. The chainsaw man pauses. Everyone does. Debbie scoffs. Excuse me? You heard me. I say, the HOA irrigation line, the one feeding your fancy fountains, your little flower circles, your clubhouse toilets, runs right beneath this tree. It's on my property. Your developers laid it before the current code required a recorded easement, and I checked, there's none. She blinks. That flicker of doubt creeps across her face. You're bluffing. I hold up a folder. Property deed. Water infrastructure schematics. Copies sent to my attorney. 1 call, and I shut it off at the source. Permanently. Harold leans over her shoulder. Debbie, he's not wrong. That line does run. Shut up, Harold, she snaps, then straightens herself. You wouldn't dare. I pull out my phone. My thumb hovers over the contact, labeled District Utilities. Emergency line. I show it to her. Try me. There's a beat of silence. The birds even stop. Debbie's mouth opens, then closes. She motions to the man with the chainsaw. We'll revisit this with legal counsel. That's a good idea. I say, you've got a lot of things to revisit. And as they turn and walk off, I don't gloat. I don't cheer. I just stand beside my tree, roots deep, trunk steady, and watch them retreat, dripping in arrogance, but finally afraid of consequences. They think it's over. But I haven't even started. I don't just want them to stop. I want it documented. On record. I want accountability. So I send an email to the county. I attach everything. Property records, easement maps, timestamp footage of their landscaper hacking at my tree in the middle of the night, a scanned copy of the HOA's letter demanding removal. I CC my lawyer, my city council rep, and the local Black Homeowners Coalition. Then I sit back and let the truth do what it does best. Spread. By Friday, everything hits the fan. It starts with a knock. Not Debbie this time. A uniform. Deputy Sanchez stands on my porch with a polite nod. Mr. Rhodes. Mind if we talk? I lead him inside. He's calm but serious. We receive your complaint. Not only about the vandalism, but the misuse of municipal water lines. You were right. The HOA has no recorded easement for the pipe system beneath your tree. You own the land outright. I nod, silent. And the man on your footage, not a licensed contractor, has a record for petty theft. Was paid under the table by a certain Debbie Collins. Sanchez flips his notepad. She claimed she never authorized night work. Claimed she had no idea about the illegal line. Claimed you were aggressive and threatened the HOA with terrorism. I laugh. He doesn't. She filed a false report. That's when it all starts unraveling. A local reporter picks up the story after someone in the council forwards my email. Suddenly, there's a headline circulating. Black homeowner threatened with tree removal. Exposes illegal HOA water line. False police report. The footage makes it onto the news. Debbie's voice screeching in the background. Her landscaper clumsily sawing at the roots. My security cameras caught it all. Next comes the HOA emergency meeting. Closed door. But someone leaks the audio. Debbie screaming. I did what I had to do. That tree was dangerous. And he was hostile. You lied to the board. Harold snaps. And now we're facing a city audit. The water line could cost us thousands in fines. We could lose the charter, Debbie. Then the voice of Marcy. We got black families moving in, and this is how we treat them? We're done. The city inspector puts it plainly a day later. The water line violates at least 3 municipal codes. It will be capped until a legal solution is reached. Any HOA member who interferes will be fined personally. The fountains dry up. The clubhouse shuts down. No more irrigation for the pristine community garden Debbie bragged about at every meeting. And Debbie? She's removed from her position by unanimous vote. She tries to spin it, claims she's being targeted, posts a teary Facebook video about being harassed by extremists. But it doesn't work this time. Too much truth, too much evidence. Neighbors who once waved but said nothing now speak up. The couple across the street admits Debbie questioned their right to build a playset in their yard. Another family says she fined them for their daughter's quinceanera banner. A black veteran reveals she once accused him of suspicious loitering while he was checking his mailbox. Her empire of paperwork and whisper control finally collapses. And I walk past my tree every morning now. It still stands. Roots undisturbed. Reaching up like it's always known it would survive. Funny thing about roots. They don't just hold up trees. They hold up truth towards quiet now. Not the kind of silence that creeps in before chaos, but the kind that follows truth. A final silence. Earned. The humming fountains at the HOA entrance? Dry. The sprinklers that hissed at 6 a.m. sharp? Dead. The once lush median strip Debbie called the jewel of the community? Brown, wilting, like it's holding its breath. Justice doesn't always come with sirens. Sometimes it arrives in a trickle that never returns. Debbie Collins is no longer president of the HOA. That came in an emergency vote, broadcast live on the community portal. Her voice trembled with outrage as she was escorted out of the clubhouse by 2 officers. Apparently, filing a false police report isn't just unethical. It's a crime. And the city? They're pressing charges for code violations tied to the unauthorized water line. A hefty fine. Possible jail time if the investigation reveals misappropriation of HOA funds. Turns out, funneling community money into illegal projects comes back to bite, especially when you use it to secretly water your own garden through my property. But Debbie doesn't show her face much anymore. When she does, it's behind oversized sunglasses, speed walking to her car like she's late for court, which she probably is. The neighborhood? It's shifting. Not overnight, but it's like something snapped loose, like people finally see. The couple across the street, Mark and Teresa, bring over a blueberry pie. We should have spoken up sooner, Teresa says, her voice soft. I guess we didn't realize how deep it went. Neither did I at first. A few more black families start attending HOA meetings. They bring notes, ask questions, vote. Marcy, once silent, now loud, runs for interim president, wins by a landslide. At the first meeting under her leadership, she says, this HOA doesn't own people. It serves them. And from now on, we're not ignoring racism wrapped in policy. The room claps. Not everyone, but enough. I stand in the back, arms crossed, watching it all unfold. Not in anger anymore, just clarity. Later, I visit the tree. Its bark still bears the scars with a blade bit too deep. A jagged wound that tried to silence something older than every house in this neighborhood. But it's healing. The roots held. I reach out and press my palm against the trunk, grounding myself in that quiet, living resistance. It reminds me of my grandfather's hands, weathered, steady, unshakable. He planted this tree, told me once, if they ever come for it, it means they're trying to come for something in you. Don't let them. I didn't, and I won't. That night, I watered the roots myself. No sprinklers, just a steel can intention. As I pour, I hear kids laughing a few houses down. Someone plays Miles Davis through an open window. The neighborhood breathes a little easier. Justice didn't just cut off Debbie's water line. It flooded the truth into every crack she tried to fill with control. And in the end, the tree still stands.